What is up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about pirate economy, and I did watch this documentary a while back on Netflix about the Somali pirates and how they manage their economy basically in a war zone. And it was pretty impressive. Their economic system was actually pretty impressive. Without any form of money whatsoever, the way the country was still able to tie itself up economically was rather good for it being a lawless society. Now, what is pirate economy? Pirate economy is a lot like the stock exchange. For example, so you have all these different pirate groups, and they go out and they conduct raids, and they go out and they conduct campaigns, and whatever you give that will be successful towards that campaign, you will get the loot as well. So, for example, this lady, the Somali village lady, she donated an RPG-7 to one of the pirates. The pirate group went out, conducted a successful mission, and once they got back with the loot, with all the money they got back from the campaign, the RPG-7 that old lady get, in return she got a house. So yeah, that's basically how they manage their economy. You give something to the campaign. If the campaign is successful, you get something bigger. And obviously, if the pirates fail with their campaign, then they have trust. It's like internet reviews. They have trust points. So, for example, back to the previous example, if the lady did donate her RPG-7 to that pirate group, and that pirate group failed to raid a cruise ship, and to like a holiday cruise ship, they failed to raid it, and then they came back with nothing, then word would spread not to put stock into that pirate group and instead into another one. And with less trust, it means the pirate group would fail to get donations and then would be outcompeted by better armed and better strategized pirate groups. So, yeah. So, and obviously it's not just about weaponry. You can give anything to the cause. However, don't give a jar of coffee and then expect to get back an AK-47 if a campaign is successful. So they have different levels of exchange. So basically, let's just say you give one of the pirates a jar of coffee, just to keep them awake in the campaign. It's late at night, they're out in the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean. They need to stay awake, they need to stay alert, they need that jar of coffee. Obviously, when they do come back with the loot, don't expect anything big, like gold or anything. You get what you give, but slightly higher, but not too high. So, let's just say a jar of coffee would be, you would get a bunch of headphones in return. So, yeah. So you give them a bunch of, you give them a jar of coffee, and then if it's mission accomplished, you get a fancy pair of headphones in exchange for that jar of coffee, because that jar of coffee led to them staying awake at night, and it led to the mission being a success. So, sorry about that. So I think it's a really good idea, because it means that you can literally trade anything and get anything in return as long as the mission is success. And like I said, once again, the pirates don't just run off with your stock. Let's just say you give one of the pirate groups, let's just say you give them a bunch of walkie-talkies, really expensive walkie-talkies, and then the mission's failed campaign, and then they just say, fuck you, we're not gonna give you the loot anyway. Well, you're gonna expect that anyway if it's a failed campaign. That's not their fault. However, like reviews, the word spreads, and then people know not to donate to those pirate groups. In some cases, the pirate groups, if they do get caught in scamming, they get punished by the villagers when they come back ashore. So the pirate groups have to always be honest. So if they do fail in a campaign, they just say it was a failed campaign. We had a failed shootout with a passing US naval warship. We didn't extract anything. We're sorry. They're forgiven. However, if they were able to, let's say they hijack a cruise boat, and they get a ton of resources from this holiday cruise ship. I'm trying to think of something that would be in a cruise ship, like you know what I mean. So they extract a bunch of stuff from like from a cruise ship, and then they don't give back to the people that donated to their campaign. They'll get punished. They'll either lose trust and get outcompeted by more trusted pirate groups, or when they do come back ashore, which they'll have to eventually, they'll get punished. So it's a bit mafia style in that way. The reason I made that video is because I think it's really interesting that like an economy can still work without money, you know. So yeah, and I like the exchange and stock rates. For example, if you donate a laptop to the cause, you're gonna get an iPhone, or an iPad, or a smart tablet, or a smart TV if you just give them a Windows XP computer, because there's so much you can do with a military campaign with just simple things like coffee, water, chewing gum, screws and bolts, a toolbox, hammer to repair things. So yeah, pirate economy. Tell me what you think about it. So, and obviously, if a purge, an apocalypse does happen, you're gonna have to think about economic management as well, and how you would trade in a zone of chaos. So just think about that one there. So, yep, badass picture there. See you in my next video. Peace.